This is an interesting chart. I don't mind hunting a trend continuation trade here. Why? Well, you can see there is the 52-week range, 50% level. So this is the end of 2022. Here's the end of 2023. So there's your low, there's your high, there's your 50% level. And interestingly enough, you can actually see we're in a weekly reload zone right now. And lo and behold, look at what's happened. The moving averages have crossed back bullishly here. Going to be keeping an eye on, of course, this UST and how this soap opera develops. I actually put a shout out to this site, just asking anybody who actually really understands what is actually going on here to come in. If anybody who is watching this, please, if you understand this and what's actually happening here, love to have you on the show. There are some names that I would like to buy, but I can't buy that. I've got to, you see where the double bottom is. This was an old double bottom. You can see where reload zones are. If this thing pulls back down into this area, oh man, I also want to buy just so much of this. And there's a lot of names that look at this damn sis. Look at that beautiful bottom. I've been barking about this thing for a while. It's already popped. So I missed a fantastic opportunity to make some money there. But I can't chase that. If it does come back down to the bottom, I'll buy. Decentraland, same sort of thing. You can see where the bottom is, where I want to be a buyer. Can I buy right there? No, not allowed to touch that. So and I've been sort of saying the same message for a little while. If you are long and your names have popped, well, great. Just make damn sure to pay yourself for your hard-earned effort. But there's no way in hell I'm going to go and chase these markets up top here. Also another sort of darling that probably is worth paying attention to. Hopefully you can see this is looking rather toppy. So, hey, you can even see this now. I did a fun, actually, we have a couple of videos on the site. It's not part of the education program. It probably really should be. But, chaos theory, you can see that if this double top right here, boom, 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 fires, well, you can see there's 2.618. And I suppose you could argue also this and is a top right there, 2.618. And then if we probably start doing things like reload zones off of that range, what do you think the odds are reload zones are going to line up with those 2.618? I'd probably say pretty good. Let's see. Survey says, boom, 61.8, 78.6. So you can see where I could buy. And ironically enough, it's actually going to be exactly where we originally bought. And that's what usually happens with these darn things. I mean, it's so cliche. It's ridiculous. But I'm not allowed to come and chase that up there. Now, this is an interesting one because you can see one higher low, two higher lows, three higher lows. We could bought this out, but I'm already long from the bottom here, sold half on a double. I'm certainly not going to add to that trade. And I don't know, I'm just not really overly excited about, chasing these up markets like this. This has me a little bit kind of on edge here right now. This MATIC here is actually the only name in our crypto universe, and this is our pro dashboard that we've been promoting here of late. I don't really want to give away all the secret sauce here, but we do a weekly commodity trend survey. This is what I used to do when I was a commodities broker and just looking for fives and sixes as opportunities to participate in the market. Interesting how our natural gas there was a 6, but now it's backed off here, so it's not nearly as attractive. But notice in our crypto universe, and there's a lot of names in the crypto universe that I cannot even consider buying. Look how many twos we have here. There's the link, right? I can't chase that. That's not value there. I mean, maybe it's a bot trend continuation, but it's certainly not value. But interesting on here, there is actually a 6, this MATIC. I was quite surprised by that. So that here is this MATIC chart. And if we look at like the 52-week range, you can see there's the 52-week high, there's the low. Yeah, there we go. So this MATIC, this is an interesting chart. I don't mind hunting a trend continuation trade here. Why? Well, you can see there is the 52-week range, 50% level. So this is the end of 2022. Here's the end of 2023. So there's your low, there's your high, there's your 50% level. And interestingly enough, you can actually see we're in a weekly reload zone right now. And lo and behold, look at what's happened. The moving averages have crossed back bullishly here. So what I've told people on the site, and maybe you might be interested in this, if there was, all you people on the free YouTube page, we won't do a Coinigy show tonight. We only do those like once every 2 weeks, which I think is probably sufficient. But you can hopefully see, there is the original double bottom. So if you were able to get off of that level, that's like your value trade. And now chaos theory levels. Notice 877 is right up top here. I'd love to see that. 4.669 is basically where we stalled out there. So if anything, this makes perfect sense. Because usually what happens with chaos theory is it sort of stair steps. Like if we break out through the middle of the W, it's going to play in this range. And it'll run up to 2.618. And then if it stalls out, it'll come back down and test 1.0. If it blasts through 2.618, which it did, notice it runs up to 4.669, the next big Feigenbaum level. And then is it going to blast through there? Next stop would be all the way up at 877. Or does it have to come back down and consolidate at 2.618? This is kind of how this thing usually works. And you can kind of think of the bifurcations as something that looks like that. The issue here is if you're going to do that bifurcation, you should do it off a log scale. And now you can kind of see how that's basically the same sort of thing here. So the next bifurcation is there, or do we puke out and have to come back down to the bottom? And hopefully you can see that bifurcation map. I mean, that's basically how chaos theory works. And it's so cool because I will say that for the longest time, I never knew how chaos theory works. But God's gift to me for being so generous with all of you is over the past, 2020, we really first learned about this. So 3 years, I've been studying this chaos theory like a son of a gun. And I think I have it licked here. So anyway, point of the matter here is we ran up to 4.669. Not a big surprise. We came back to 2.618. If we start mapping out the bot levels, you can see 1 low, 2 low. So now we're on the other side of a trend line. So if I can get a W in here, with the weekly commodity trend survey still pointing up here, that to me is going to be one hell of a trade. So you should all get the idea of exactly what Brian's thinking here with regard to trend continuation going forward. And I'm like laser beam focused on this MATIC here. I think I'm already long a whole shitload of this anyway, but believe it or not, I wouldn't actually mind adding to the trade if I can get that third higher low to come in here. And you're going to hear Brian's like uber bullish about this. So fascinating to see how this one actually is still on our weekly commodity trend survey as an acceptable idea, and how this bot setup trend continuation trade within a higher time frame reload zone is trying to set up here. That definitely has my attention.